Outdoors with Tom Gruenwald is brought to you in part by HT Premium Ice Tackle and by Polar Fire, advanced cold weather clothing systems, and these other fine sponsors.
Mobridge, your all-season fishing destination.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Tom Gruenwald Outdoors. I'm Tom Gruenwald. Today we're going to be fishing one of winter's most elusive and highly prized game fish species, walleye. We're fishing on Saskatchewan's Tobin Lake, as this lake is known for producing some really well-conditioned fish. You come out here and catch 21, 22, 23-inch walleyes that weigh over 5 pounds. And it's big water, so there's a great carrying capacity here, and the chance of catching a really fat, large fish is tremendous.
What I use, I've got a GPS mounted on my my handlebars here, and it's about the most important piece of equipment that we bring out on a trip like this. We do a lot of backcountry snowmobiling, and some even this is not very remote. It's a very big lake, and it can be difficult at times to get lost on it. I mean, you can see there's a lot of people around here, but from where we go back to our cabin, on a lake like this, if a wind comes up, in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, you can be in complete whiteout conditions. And without a GPS, it's very easy to get turned around and get lost. And the middle of winter, the last place you want to be is stranded out in the lake. So the GPS comes with us on every trip for safety reasons. The other advantage is we've got a lot of spots that we typically fish marked on here. So in the winter especially, you got very little landmarks, very little to remind you where you want to be. So we just punch the coordinates into the GPS and we can get to where we want to go.
What I've got here is just a medium action HT. It's a Bob Izumi Signature Series rod, which is a graphite. And that, of course, gives me some good sensitivity. Nice, fast tip action, which I really like because I get a good sense of feel of my bait. And, of course, light strikes, but I've got plenty of strength and backbone for setting the hook and fighting a fish. The fixed reel seat is nice. It keeps my reel seat and the reel and everything locked into position securely. I don't have to worry about it slipping off of the rings or off of tape or anything like that. And, of course, my favorite reel, HT's AccuCast, which has that bent spool so that the line goes right up to the stripper guide, and I've got that longer handle, so today isn't so bad out here. I don't really need to wear a glove, but if I am, I don't have to worry about not being able to turn the spool or retrieve when I'm wearing a glove. And I got that rigged up here with some 6-pound monofilament, and at the end of my presentation I'm running a Jigging laser rocker spoon. And it's got a holographic finish over a chartreuse and green painted body. Yeah, it's just a real light bend to that, so you get a nice light fluttering motion, not real wobbly, and again, not real tight. And I just tipped that with a little piece of gulp bait in a chartreuse and white. And I'm just going to kind of work that, let that work around down off maybe a foot, 2 feet off of the bottom, and see if I can get some walleyes going here. I still have no idea what I have on here. Yeah, if you don't mind. Not a bad fish, putting up a little tussle here. It's got that AccuCast reel, a little nice drag there, so I can just take my time. There's the swivel, so we're getting close now.
That's a nice walleye, real nice.
There we go. Grab them?
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Hey, look at that. Look at that.
Beautiful walleye.
That's a nice fish right there. Look at, he just came up. I've got that Jigging laser rocker, it's called. It's got kind of a holographic print on it, chartreuse. I just tipped that with a little piece of that gulp bait.
Oh, he is barely hooked.
And just look at, he just barely nipped it right in the mouth. I saw that fish off the bottom. I just started kind of working it. He came up, looked at it, and popped it. What a beautiful fish. So that's just a real nice size fat walleye, probably what, 4 or 5 pounds?
Oh, I'm gonna say
maybe a little bigger.
A good 4, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna give that to you. I'm gonna run and get my tape real quick here.
Here, I'll tell you what, I got one right here.
You got one on you?
Sure do, Smitty. Now this only goes up to 12 feet, I gotta warn you. So.
Well, let's see.
Gotta get that on his nose. What about 22 to 23?
23 inch, yeah. That's real nice. But that is the slot size here for penning fish is 23 or 21.5 inches.
Yep.
So anything from 21.5 to 28 inches goes back.
That's okay.
That's a real nice. You want to tail that?
Yeah.
We'll put her down the hole.
See if we can get her to go. That's what it's all about, right there. It's Tulip. All right, multi-species angler. There we go. Nice, nice Tulip. Look at him. Now these are just basically a big bait fish. We talk about all these pike and everything that are in here. These big 40, 50-inch pike will easily eat a tulip that size, no question about it. So it's actually, even though it's a pretty darn good sized fish, it's probably 18 inches long. It's actually a forage base for these big pike. High protein, soft finned, that's what helps grow these fish so big. And for us, we can actually fillet that out and eat that along with our walleyes tonight. We'll take it. That was fun. We've talked a little bit about the incredible fishery that we have out there and how the forage base contributes to the size of these fish out here. We've talked a lot about just overall this big water. A lot of area for carrying capacity to produce a big fish or produce a great fishery, but there's some other aspects that we should really give credit to as well.
No, absolutely. Here at Tobin Lake is one of the few lakes in the province that actually has a slot size where you can't retain walleye between 21.5 and 28 inches. There's a slot size for pike as well. And essentially what that does is just protect the breeding stock. So in this lake, I mean, there's tens of thousands of very, very big female fish that contribute to, you know, the rest of the population. So the really nice thing about that is the breeding stock is protected, so we've got lots and lots of fish in the fishery, and by the time that a fish gets out of the slot, they're reaching trophy size. I mean, walleye, you know, over 28 inches and pike, you know, outside of the slot are, you know, phenomenal size. And it really makes a strong fishery because the breeding stock is protected, and a really good trophy fishery because, you know, all the fish up until they reach that point are going to be trophies.
It's nice to see this precedent being set too, so that you know, the model can be used in other areas. And I know money's tight, the economy's not the greatest in some parts of the world right now, but you know, if they can enact these type of regulations in other places, we can see better quality fisheries.
Absolutely. The fishery is so important to this community. I mean, tourism, you know, is a huge industry here, and it's all based around the fantastic fishery that they built. Another benefit too is the conservation that they bring. There are reduced limits here on Tobin Lake as well, and it's also one of the few lakes in the province that's mandatory barbless hooks, and all of that is to help keep the fishery strong. You know, so it all goes hand in hand.
And anglers do respect that, and it shows. Look at the fishery we have.
Absolutely. We've
Thanks.
got a great fishery here.
Really appreciate the opportunity to come out here and fish, Smitty. Thanks so much.
What do we got here?
Oh yeah, nice walleye.
Really nice walleye.
Got him?
Here.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Nice
beauty.
chunky fish, huh? There we go.
That's a beaut.
Thank you. Thank you for the help.
No problem.
Got Steve there to come over and help move the transducer cord for me. Yeah, it's just a nice, fat, healthy walleye again. What do you think that one goes? Probably 21-inch mark. Nice big red mark when he was coming in.
Giant red mark. Oh yeah.
It's a beauty.
It's a beauty, beauty, beauty. No, I'm just trying to get a decent grip.
Oh! That's the way to do it.
Here, oh,
Nice, nice.
that is gorgeous.
I've hit one of those chatter spoons.
Chatter spoons, just like you had it rigged up, with a little bit of Berkeley on it.
Nice. Nice fish. You're the size of that walleye, huh? Nice big head.
Yeah.
The fish in here are just so nicely conditioned.
Just look at the back on that. Just thick.
In the head, you know?
Just beautiful. It's posing really nice for me too.
See what you got here once. Sitting there, nice. Well, you're on about 27 inches there, Steve. That's nothing. That's not a small walleye. You got 8 pounds, 2 ounces on that walleye.
Ho, 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 ho.
That's sweet.
She's got a kick. Oh yeah, she's got.
Hey, Smitty's taking care of us here right now. We got some burgers cooking, which is absolutely spoiling me because I'm not used to this. But you got to look here at his cooking utensils, you see? The windlass tip-up is a multi-function tool. So when you're out here on the ice, hey, if you don't have a spatula, rocker arm. That way, Smitty, I love it. Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
Look at that. Hey, we're set now. Thanks so much.
You got it.
Oh, yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
that's
Look
supper,
how they're
buddy.
just barely hitting that. They're just getting it in the lip every time.
Yeah.
See how they like that rattle. You got 2 in a row on the rattle.
2 in a row on the rattle, yeah.
Laser rocker, and the chartreuse is the color today.
But even the small ones, you can see their bellies are full.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all feeding pretty good.
And even the nice big fat cheeks on those guys. Look at that.
You bet.
Beautiful. We've been out fishing for these walleyes off of the drop-off here, and of course it was fairly overcast. Sky's kind of cleared up here a little bit, which can be a negative sometimes with walleyes. A lot of people say you should be fishing them at twilight or evening, what have you, but I think one of the advantages here, we're fishing a little bit deeper water, first of all. Secondly, we've got thick ice, 2.5 feet thick approximately, and we've got a good snow cover here too. And now, even though the sun's come out, it's dropping down lower in the sky, so with that low angle, it still should be dark enough down there to be able to hook a few walleyes. And we got Tobin Ted back here behind me, just started dropping down. He's already marked a fish or two. I've got Paul setting up in a hole over here. Steve Bunka is going to be doing a little jigging right over here nearby. And Smitty will be here as well. So we got some lines down in the water, and we're going to try to see if we can pick up a few walleyes. And we got that slot limit out here. So our goal is to try to catch a few smaller ones we can take back for a fish fry. And of course, hopefully tie into a larger fish or two. It's not unusual. There's some in here that are going 8-10 pounds easily. And if we get real lucky, who knows, we might approach that 18-pound record. Let's see what we can do. All right. Well, that didn't take too long. Just got done saying we've got some fish going down here already. He came right up. I had a mark, and it was very encouraging. It didn't take very long.
Nice walleye.
Leader, nice walleye. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. There we go. Oh, hook popped out. Well, that's okay.
Spit already?
Yeah, spit the hook. That's okay. We'll take that. You don't have to worry about unhooking it. Look at that. There we go. Another one that's below that slot size. That's an eater size fish too.
That's a real pretty walleye, that one, yeah.
You know, and that's exactly what we're hoping to do out here. We're just hoping to maybe catch, half a dozen or so of these. We can use those to eat, and if we're lucky, we pick up a bigger fish or two in the process. Got him. Fish on over here. Tobin Ted just stuck one. Come up and nail it pretty hard. You see him on the sonar?
Yeah, he just came in and just hit it. I just paused it and he hit it.
There's a walleye. Yes, sir. You said you never caught a walleye through the ice?
no,
You never caught a big walleye. Well, as you can see, we're out here on Tobin Lake, and it's actually pretty bright sun conditions. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's about the time that they start to turn on. And even with a fish this size, still, look at the condition, the healthy size of that fish. And that's under the slot probably.
Under the slot,
so
we're thinking of having a walleye fry tonight for supper.
I'm thinking that one's going to go in the fry pan, don't you?
That might be one.
Oh, we got one going. Let's go get him. Let me help you with the transducer, Steve. Hey, we're catching dinner.
Look at that.
Nice job, Steve. Nice job.
And it did not even hesitate. They're in the mood.
No, that's the same thing that just happened with the one I popped here a second ago too. He came up, you know, we were marking some fish here earlier and you really had to work them. They're just being real elusive and funny and they go back down, fickle. But now things are happening. And you'll notice, everybody here, you watch the lures that Tobin, Ted, and Steve and Smitty are putting on, and they've all switched over to those chartreuse laser rockers, you know, tipped with that little piece of gulp. And look at that.
Look at that.
You know,
no hesitation, just came up off the bottom and just dumped it.
Is there a funner fish than walleyes when they're going? Huh?
All right.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this fish fry tonight. That's awesome. That's awesome. Nice job. This is great out here. I love it.
Tobin Ted's hot tip of the day. When approaching a hole like this and you have a strong sun, always come up from the side so you're not leaving a shadow over your hole. Anything as subtle as that can sometimes spook the fish. So make sure and approach from the side opposite of the sun and you'll catch more fish, just like Tobin Ted.
And get a suntan. Trick I used here, the last 2 fish that I got that come up actually, is I'm taking the spoon and I'm actually putting it right on the bottom and I just bounce it around in the silt and the sand just to try to get the fish drawn in. I got one looking right now. And right after I lift it up off the bottom and start coming up, that fish follows it up. And right now he's really on that spoon, but just kind of try to get him to take it. And it's important when you're doing this, when these fish are coming up, you bring that rod tip up to crank the reel a little bit too. What you don't want to have happen is you get that rod way up here. Of course, the fish bites and you have no way to catch it because you got the hook, or your rod way up high, and there's no room to go and set the hook. And I'm going to bring this up right now and just double check. I always like to, when I start seeing more fish coming through, I like to check my knots. Everything looks good. I'm going to drop that right down to the bottom now. And again, the kicker here is to put it right smack down on the bottom. And I'm going to bounce it around down there a little bit. All the fish I've seen have been coming through real tight to the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll take the rod tip right down now, where I can feel that I can see it on the sonar. And then I'll bounce the bottom like this. Now all I'm doing is I'm just kind of pounding that bait. I can actually feel it in that sand and muck at the bottom. It feels a little sticky as it bounces. And then I lift it up and I'll come maybe 8 to 10 inches off the bottom. After I do that, just kind of work it. I got separation between the bottom and my lure. And that allows me to see if a fish is coming up behind it. And then I'll bring it up a few more inches after that, just kind of work it. See if we get one to come in. I had one that came in before. I never even saw him because he came right in at the same level as the lure and popped it. I've only marked one fish, and that fish came right up actively and smacked the bait. And it wasn't seconds after that, and boom, Tobin Ted hits one, and we got Steve into one. Smitty's just getting his line down. He did all the hard work, came out here and started punching holes for us so we could get on the right spot and go right to fishing. And I'll tell you, that's a lot of work when you're talking all the ice that we have and this thick snow cover, trying to clear things out so that we can get in here and jig. So hopefully we'll keep this up. Our game plan is to try to catch 6 or 7 of those nice walleyes so we can have a nice fish fry back at the lodge tonight. But as I was saying before Steve caught his fish, there's no question that walleyes are probably, oh, here comes one looking. He's coming up on it, right there, come on. You gotta just kind of keep teasing these fish. You can notice I'm jigging up, and that's what did it. He popped that thing. He was right on top of it. Ugh. All right, thanks. This one's a little bit bigger, not by much, but a little bit bigger. That away fish, come on. Get him in. Perfect, perfect, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that one's a little bit bigger than the last one. All right, thanks. Let me grab this guy. Come here, buddy. I gotta try your technique here.
Yeah.
He says if you hold the walleyes, you just put your fingers underneath, put a little pressure on the belly, it pacifies them, they'll hold still. And look at that, you're right. So you can hold still for the picture. Look at that. He just absolutely inhaled that laser rocker. Bang, it was right on top of it. Now that's the second fish I've marked, and I got him right away. The fish was active, jumped right smack on that bait immediately. Hey, he hit it, and he hit it hard. Tell you what, these fish are turning on. Okay, well, hey, we've had an exceptional day out here on the ice today. Our goal was to try to jig up a few walleyes, and we wanted to get a few that'd be in the eating size underneath the 21-inch slot, and then maybe try to catch a couple of bigger fish. I think we've accomplished our mission. We caught a 21-inch, we caught a 24-inch, we got the big 27-inch that Steve Bunka caught, the biggest walleye he's ever taken through the ice, and we've got several fish that are underneath the 21-inch slot size that we'll be able to take home for that walleye fish fry we were hoping for. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next time on Tom Gruenwald Outdoors.